right, we decided to do that. Oh, shit. Yeah, we decided to do that again because that was a bit of a disaster. Welcome to Papa G's house, everybody. Nice little dry run we did there. But welcome back to the show. We had a little bit of a hiccup there with the internet and resources or whatever the internet was or the PC was trying to tell me. Hopefully we're back up and running. Thank you so much for joining. Hit a subscribe to Papa G's house. We are going to chat to Gideon of HopePunk Records right now. But without further ado, let's get this party started. That's where we go. Back in your lives, in your ears, and in your face. Welcome to another episode of Papa G's House. Episode 63. This is going to be a fun one. We've got Gideon of HopePunk Records live from Frankfurt, Germany to talk to us about everything HopePunk Records, and then also some little side project, other projects that we got going on at the same time. So without further ado, everybody, sorry for the hiccup start. Here we go. Welcome, Mr. Gideon Kretschmer of HopePunk Records. What's up, my dude? Thank you so much for joining the show. Round 2. I'm so sorry about whatever happened there.
Hey, man. Can you hear me? I can't see you yet.
Here we go. It's all going down, baby. It's all
okay.
going
As
down.
long as I can see myself, I'm happy.
Yeah, you can see yourself. But like I was saying to you off air now, welcome to DIY podcasting, dude. That's just one of the things that we kind of have to deal with from time to time. And it always happens with my international guests, the guys from far away. I don't know what it's almost like my computer doesn't want to reach that far.
Yeah, it's the connection, the internet and the language, maybe, the sense that maybe there's a different language coming through.
Yeah, 100%. But all in all, dude, thank you so much for joining the show. It's good to have you.
No worries, man. Thanks for having me.
Okay,
nice
well, we did also say earlier that we have our drinks. It's our Friday night date. This is how we're going to do it. Let's hope that everybody can see us and hear us and everything is going well. So
yeah.
Cheers, my man.
Prost from Germany, yeah?
100%.
I just have
deep breath.
Again, give you kudos for your release day today for Ill Systems, Ego Check. What a rad song.
Once again, thank you so much to Warren and everybody at Mongo Records. Obviously, I was lucky enough to be a part of the Fangs Volume 2 album that was just released, along with Africa's best artists. So please go check it out. It's on all your streaming platforms, Bandcamp, Spotify, Apple, you name it, Google, the works. So, man, it's super cool to be a part of something like that. The guys are doing such great work. Sure. Volume 1 was an absolute success. Volume 2 is no doubt going to be a success. But more so about you. Like I mentioned earlier, you may be in Frankfurt, Germany, but you have a little bit of a twang to that accent, man. So tell me about that.
Yeah, and I've been here since 2018, but I come from Cape Town and Joburg, grew up there. So born and bred South African, Afrikaans boy. And
nice.
I've been in the music scene for 25 years now. And it all started, back in Stellenbosch in 1996, when I joined my first school band, Sunfish. And Nico from Sunfish is now with me in Wham Bam, which is a home punk band.
Awesome.
I don't know how much you know about that scene. We chatted about this briefly, but
yes, I know. You can refresh my memory. Everything kind of just went tits up for me, so I kind of don't particularly know where we were going with that. I lost you at some point.
Cool, man. Yeah, it was obviously a very vibey time in the South African rock scene back in the day when New Girls, Lithium, and all those bands were just breaking, and you had guys like Dagerdruk Ace from Trippy Grape Records really supporting the scene in Cape Town and Stellenbosch with festivals like Vingerstock, etc. So we were lucky enough to kind of start our musical kind of journey in that time. Recorded albums and at Sunset Studios just outside Stellenbosch, which is a legendary place with Jürgen van Wegmar. And that's when I met Nico, who's now in Wham Bam.
Wham Bam, yeah.
Also Vernon, he was in Government Car back then, also quite a big band in the scene, and he's now with me in Pirates of Radio, another HopePunk Records act. So it's funny how these things, kind of reconnect over the years.
Yeah.
You keep on making music it's all about the connections you make, the creative
sure.
connections, the friendships, and the kind of things just come together at the right time again.
So tell me, you mentioned that previous band. So are you in all of those projects as well, like as a vocalist?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's Wham Bam, Head Fury. Because I watched the video for Monterey today. That's the newest Head Fury song, and then you've got Wham Bam, and then you've got what's the third one that you mentioned there?
Pirates of Radio.
Pirates of Radio, sick, dude. I mean,
so I've made some cards here. I know it's a lot of bands and hashtags to remember. So
let's go, man. Let's do it.
We speak about them. I can show it on the screen so people don't get confused.
Yeah, 100%. Let's go. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, maybe just then the Head Fury connection. So after the Stellenbosch years, I moved to Joburg as well for another band, State for Better. 2002 to 2006, we were signed to Musketeer Records, who they signed Cedar to Wind Up Records.
Okay, really? Was that the connection?
Yeah, so I moved up to Joburg, did music full time for 2 years as part of that time with State for Better, and that's also where I met Vince and Wayne from Head Fury. Vince was in another Musketeer band, I think Fault Line, and we had some parties together, me and Wayne. It's a lot of cool shows and times, and I mean it was more my mid-20s, so a lot of big parties and just being young and having fun and making music. And we did some good stuff as part of that band, radio play, and played with Cedar, and we did the Coke Fest with Metallica.
Wow,
back then.
That's amazing.
That was cool. I enjoyed that time as a musician in South Africa. But then after that, it was 2007. I had another band, New Hope, with a guy from State for Better.
Okay.
But then I got a bit disillusioned with the whole music scene, especially in South Africa and Cape Town. I'm sure you also, obviously share some of the sentiments. There's a lot of hard work that goes into
100%, yeah. You got to be all in. You've got to be all in. Yeah. Otherwise you're not gonna get very far. As far it's the work says it all, basically.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta do it for the right reasons. You gotta do it for the music, for the enjoyment, and
you gotta really embrace the grind. Yeah.
And not lose it if you don't, get the return or the, I don't know.
Yeah, 100%.
Or whatever.
Yeah, dude. I mean, but the one thing for me is that how do you manage to manage all of it? Not only you've got the label, and then you've got all these projects as well. I mean, I'm sure your admin is second to none.
Yeah, at the moment it's a bit intense. Back then I was just a member in a band, and we were trying to do everything ourselves. We had a label at a point with Musketeer, and as a band member, I got frustrated with the label, and they did such a great job actually. And now me being on the other side of the fence, there's so much hard work that goes into promoting a band, being a label. But at that time, you kind of get frustrated as a musician that the label's not doing enough or whatever. So after those years, I kind of got a bit disillusioned with being in a band and, doing that whole grind, maybe especially in South Africa. So we moved overseas as well to the UK. So I started focusing more on my solo career of solo musician. I've always recorded music in my own studio. I'm constantly writing songs. It's kind of something that I just kind of.
It's something that you did. It's something that that it's in your chemical makeup.
Yeah, exactly. It's who you are. Just
exactly
like you as well. As a guitarist. So then moved overseas for a few years. Moved back to Cape Town, and then I released my first solo album under Wonderwolf, which is currently a HopePunk act. Released 3 albums, 2017 and 2018. And in that process, I started collaborating with old friends and musos, different parts of the world. And that's when the whole remote collaboration model started.
Yes, yeah. I can only imagine, because I read up some of the Wham Bam, the Wham Bam description, also the Head Fury description. You've got a couple of guys in South Africa that are actually part of the project.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So which is cool, but it also makes it challenging. But it is quite nice being able to collaborate remotely. And obviously we've been doing this for actually since 2017, and now with COVID, all the musicians need to do it.
For real. Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of working, but you also still miss the live element and being in a room together. So then in 2018, I moved to Germany. And then just before that, I started this Pirates of Radio project. Pirates of Radio.
At Pirates of Radio right now.
Yeah.
I'll actually put them all in the description as well when we're done. Yeah, that's But I like that whole placard vibe, dude. That's awesome. Pirates of Radio #1. Put that on your list right now.
Yeah, brain fart I had just.
Yeah, dude, that's amazing.
But this one's quite cool because this is a really truly international collaboration project with myself living in Germany, Vernon, ex-government car, living in Dubai. So he's a pilot for Emirates in Dubai. Sean, our bassist, he's also a pilot in Dubai.
Wow.
And then Francois, he's from Springbok New Girls. He's the drummer. He's in South Africa. And then we have a lyricist, Ramon, who lives in Thailand. So, so really
lyricist as in like a writer.
Yeah, a writer. So he's a published author.
Okay.
As a musician, as a vocalist, I've always written my own lyrics, and it's a personal thing. But it's so cool actually just to be able to collaborate with a lyricist and let go of that part a bit and see what new things come up.
Yeah, you can express yourself from someone else's point of view almost.
Exactly, and then
that's a really cool thing.
The cool thing about that project is it's allowed me I've been doing solo things for a long time, is to get into other styles of music and not feel creative limits and boundaries. You can just feed off other guys, inputs. We all have different interests in music. We all have different styles and things we like. I'm naturally more heavy rock metal kind of guy, and those guys are perhaps a bit more indie pop, 80s synth wave things, and that creates this really interesting sound. So we've released 2 singles to date. Be Our Variety and Swan Songs, and last week on the 18th we released our 3rd single, Glow.
Okay.
And the music video for that is releasing next Friday, 2nd of October.
Amazing.
That's really cool. We've done that again also very remotely. We did our green screen shots individually in our rooms, and we got it edited in Dubai by a really cool editing friend, and it's looking quite cool.
That's so amazing because obviously we had that little hiccup in the beginning of the show, and I was obviously in that moment I'm cursing technology because it's just not doing what we want it to do. But it's amazing that we can do something so powerful like that, like do an entire musical project with people from all over the world. I think that's amazing.
It is cool. You do realize the limitations in it sometimes, but there's also a lot of freedom in it that you don't. Sometimes when you're just in a room like Kill City with a band, you're kind of almost limited to what comes up in that room. Whereas we can all individually take time with the idea and shape it and change it and bounce it back to the other guys, and it's quite an interesting.
No, 100%. But I can imagine it to be a little bit lengthier if if you're not jamming in a rehearsal space, coming up with the tunes on the spot and then developing it. I can imagine it could be quite a task, especially if you're getting 5 different people to do 5 separate things, and then you got to send separates, and it's all got to be but it must be so worth it in the end when you've got that final product.
Yeah, for sure. It does take a bit more time and investment. So what helps maybe is I mainly am the one running I've got my own studio, so I kind of do the mixing and the production work. So
you just stole my next question. Yeah, I was just about to ask you, who does all the mixing and mastering stuff? So you do all that your side?
Yeah, it differs project to project, but kind of a common thread is that I do most of the core mixing, at least towards the end, and then we get it mastered in different places. So for Pirates of Radio, Vernon's also got a studio set up, so we kind of share that between ourselves. But then maybe another project when
just watch it coming over your microphone there. It's got that paper effect.
Yeah, okay.
Wham Bam Official. There we go.
Wham Bam Official. Yeah,
there we go.
Actually wham Bam with an exclamation mark.
Wham Bam, thank you, ma'am.
Exactly. Although that's got some other connotations.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's another HopePunk project. That's myself and Nico, my good friend and mate from Sunfish back in Stellenbosch days. He was actually part of Pirates of Radio in the beginning for a bit.
Okay.
But we had kind of different creative things we wanted to try out. So we wrote some songs, and me and him, when he also performed, or we wrote a song together for my Wonderwolf debut album. So we've been doing this over the years, stayed in contact and wrote music together. And we've now formed Wham Bam, which is quite a cool band. It's
a rad name. I love the artwork. I've looked at your the Instagram and stuff. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just was excited to say that I also just listened. I just also listened to a new clip of one of your newer tracks. I don't know how long ago you released it and stuff, but it sounds amazing, dude.
Yeah, well, actually today is our release day as well for our
happy release
day! Hey, prost!
Cheers, prost!
So our second single, Fool's Gold, released today.
Okay.
And the video is premiering tomorrow via V13, a Canadian blog, which is premiering it. But yeah, quite excited to share that with the world.
Awesome.
Wham Bam is quite fun because a lot of times as a muser, you take yourselves very seriously and you try to present this very kind of serious image of the music and the songs and who we are. But Wham, we really down just in what is the core of a song, make it fun, catchy, accessible to people, but still being creatively authentic. So, no long bridges or intros, and just get to the cool
get to the point. Exactly. Almost just get to the fun.
Yeah, exactly. And just something people can sing along to, have fun with. And that's quite cool. And that also is represented in our artwork and the videos we do. It's very kind of animated, retro, cartoonish stuff where the video dropping tomorrow is kind of continuing our first single, On Your Own's video was kind of a retro, cartoonish, Back to the Future road trip through the desert. And now this video, it's going into space. So we're going into like an intergalactic mission.
Yeah, I saw something like the DeLorean or something. What is that? What's that? It was the DeLorean.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you see, man, I loved it. I said, is Marty McFly in this video? Yeah, dude, it's super cool.
He's in the boot.
Okay, amazing. I know the one thing I wanted to quickly ask you is that the quality of the videos you guys are putting out under your label is just rad, dude. And the content in itself, the Instagram posts, the way that they're all structured, and some of them are even, you post a bunch to make this one big poster kind of vibe. It's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah, it's mainly, it's me running it from the label's perspective, doing all the creative designs, and most of the videos we've done ourselves as well. So actually, Pirates of Radio's first two videos and also Wham Bam's lyric videos, I did that all myself. Actually, on an iPhone.
Wow. Okay. Those cameras are amazing. Anyway.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can do these days.
Yeah.
So it's quite a cool experience to go through, but it is a lot of work. And especially now, I'm finding running the label as doing. It's very important these days. You live via social media. Back in the day when I was in my previous bands in South Africa, it was pre-social media, pre-YouTube. So it's really about putting flyers on people's cars and
sometimes
promotion.
I wish those days were back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It felt more authentic. It felt more connected maybe to the real person. Now it's. Yeah,
you're actually putting the physical sweat in instead of the physical sweat in. If you know what I mean. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's tough. It's hard work, but you gotta build up over time and try to find your authentic audience. I think is difficult these days, but it's still early days for us. Obviously I've been doing this for a long time, but the HopePunk Records really taken full form earlier this year. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I was going to ask you is you're a part of all these projects, right? And I mean, I can imagine your thinking behind the whole situation is that I've got all these, we've got these projects and we've got some other bands. We're interested in some talent and whatnot. Let's create a label as a umbrella so we can get this out there and we can have a formula where we've got the people mixing and mastering, we've got the video content, we've got the people who are the editors, the people are the mixing and mastering, and then I know a lot of it's you and but I think it's a great formula, especially if you have more than one project as an artist, to put it under an umbrella.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what the thought was behind HopePunk is. Over the years, you build up a kind of a creative network. So I call it like a creative collective of people, friends and awesome musicians that can play drums, bass, guitar, whatever, vocals on whatever song. People you can mix it and record things at. People you can get mastered at. So I've got that whole network of people that you've used over the years, and then you've got your own projects. And doing it all individually is quite fragmented, and there's a lot of synergy and leverage to be found by doing it, together under one home. So HopePunk Records, for me, maybe on one side, it's a bit of a midlife crisis because I turned 40 this year.
Hey, happy birthday! And don't think about that as a death sentence, dude. 40s is where it all begins, brother. And
exactly,
and you probably find that you're better looking now than you were in your 20s.
Yeah, it depends who you ask. But,
what does the wife have to say, bro? I see the ring there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just realizing that what you actually love doing, the thing that keeps you alive is music. And
for sure,
we all have day jobs. So I mean, I've got quite a serious day job, which is not related to music at all.
Well, I'm sure that's how you ended up in Frankfurt, Germany.
Yeah, for sure. I was part of it. And you realize that, I mean, you've got only one life to live, and 100%. What you actually enjoy doing is music, and you don't always find enough time to do it as much as you want. So for me, it was always, I was busy with a few projects, but not necessarily finding everything that I want to do in one of those projects. So what's a good way to bring it all together? And that's HopePunk Records for me. But initially, it's kind of the projects that I may be involved in myself, because that's what I know and I can actually control and put out to the world in a professional, impressive way. Sure. But then the second step is definitely to grow to other artists. And it's actually quite interesting once you launch a label, how many artists contact you and are looking for support. And so there's already some really cool bands, some really funny people that contact you.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine.
Yeah, so it's kind of the sorting through the maze of
Look, I mean, that must be quite exciting that a lot of people get in contact with you and stuff that, they see the content that you're putting, that is almost like an unofficial pat on the back to say, hey, I like what these guys are doing. Let me get in contact with them, try my best, and then you make the final decision.
Yeah, it does give you a kind of a checkpoint that you're kind of doing the right thing. But then you're also a musician, and trying to also assess the value of a label relationship and what you can offer artists as well. Yeah. That's also quite interesting in this day where everyone can actually do a lot of it themselves, distribute your own music. But I do find that there's a lot of work needed apart from just being in the band to get it out there, promoting it, creating the brand, which is guys like Warren, of course, from Plug helps a lot. There's a big gap that musicians can't always fill by covering the PR side as well. But from a label perspective, there's still a lot of work to be done. So I've got a new appreciation for that. And going forward, I want to partner with artists where there's a clear value proposition both sides. And I want to obviously still always keep the South African connection, but I'm also focusing quite hard to grow the German European connection as well, because I think the scene here is quite strong, and there's a lot of things the bands can do here that they can't necessarily do in South Africa. So
for sure,
I'm collaborating with a very cool German artist, Karsten. So that's the first, hopefully, of more
Awesome,
more new
dude.
artists joining HopePunk Records.
Well, I'm just going to take it just a little bit of another direction. Is that how is it now? I mean, I've got a friend in Berlin that's told me that Berlin's going into like a second lockdown or level 3 or something to that effect. How true is that? What is going on? How is everything happening right now in Frankfurt?
Yeah, it's kind of, in terms of COVID, I mean, it's kind of changing every week. It's like new waves, and I know France has just had a huge peak again, and we were just in Italy, and we drove back, and we had to do a roadside COVID test, which is quite cool. You just drive, stop, and they do a test, and the next day you get your results, which actually shows you things work quite well.
Yeah.
But it's still, I mean, for live music, I think it's still a challenge. I do see a lot of bands. Some cool bands are actually now touring again in Europe in October, November, and I see them lining up dates every night. They're playing a different city, including Frankfurt. So it shows you that things are opening up again.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting to see how that looks when it starts again, because bands need to play, and it's still currently quite locked down. You need to wear masks everywhere, like in South Africa, and social distance, etc.
I've had some interesting conversations with different people. So I'm getting very distracted by someone in this chat going something about the BLM movement and whether I recognize it or some stuff like that. I'll deal with that later. But holy shit! Like, it's the first time I've ever like, what is your take? And I'm like, well, don't really have one. So yeah,
that's a strange question.
Yeah, very strange. I mean, maybe it's some dude bored on a Friday night. Who knows? But I just wanted to just go back to that. Is that I've had some different conversations with some people where almost some guys are like, let's see what other dudes do first and how people react to it. You know, especially with level 1 for us, like literally only kicked in a week or two ago. What's your take on it? I'm of the opinion if those are the rules and you need to get 250 people in the venue, try and get that venue 250 people packs.
Yeah, for sure. It's tough because you gotta, before there's a vaccine or a real solution for this thing, you gotta kind of think what makes sense and what is safe.
Yeah.
So packing a whole venue, I mean, I was in a show in January, still in a small club like Mercury over here, and it was packed to people everywhere. And I just thought back, that is such a hotbed for infection,
100%.
This day. So you can't really do that straight away. So it depends. Maybe using bigger venues and spreading people out. But the fact is, the way the music model works these days, musicians need to play live.
That's the music model, dude. Touring and merch.
Yeah.
So carry on.
Yeah, merch is, I mean, that's so true. I mean, I watched Every Time I Die. I'm a big fan.
I was just about to say, I recognize that t-shirt.
I watched them earlier this year, and they had a sign up at their merch table saying that one t-shirt equals, I don't remember, like 50,000 or 100,000 Spotify streams. So please buy a t-shirt because the band makes more money than the world.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It shows how bands, even those bands, really depend on selling merch at shows.
For sure. Tell me, how jacked was Andy Williams when you saw him?
Guitarist, right?
Yeah, big boy wrestler.
Yeah, with a mustache.
Yeah.
Mean. I'm scared of him.
Yeah. I saw Every Time I Die in Assembly, dude. You know Assembly in Cape Town?
Did they play in South Africa?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. What are you talking about? I
blew
my right eardrum. It was 2014, 15.
Yeah, okay.
Did you miss it?
I missed that. Yeah, I was there. But
were you there?
Yeah.
Oh, my word.
No, I watched that download in 2017. But yeah,
shows you the marketing, eh?
Yeah. No, maybe I think maybe I only became a real fan after.
Okay. Yeah, no. I saw them live. I don't know when it was at Assembly, and I was on the right. Epic. I was front right. Keith just was like this far away from me. Andy was just huge, and it was a crazy show. But I was right up against the speaker with my right ear. I couldn't hear for like 3 days. But yeah,
Sound of a good night, huh?
well, it sounds like we got the same taste in music, brother.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I just want to compliment you've got the coolest room behind you.
Oh,
I think
thank you, dude.
I wish I had a room like that. It's like a man cave.
You know, well, what actually happened is I was so keen to get on. This is the first time I've had all these lights like up, but I was so concentrating on getting the show set up, and then all the technical difficulties in the beginning. I was like, I didn't even get an opportunity to say welcome to the new studio, people, and well, to the new upgrades. But thank you so much for the compliment, dude. I really appreciate it. Forever upgrading, as you know, that's what you have to do over the years. As the money comes in, you just gotta put little bits here and there just to make it as good as you want it to be.
As the money comes in, you buy another guitar or amp, right?
No more guitars, no more amps.
Amps, yeah.
I've got my 5150, my 4x12.
I think that's all you need.
I've got 11 guitars, and I do not need any more. But what I am gonna invest in is probably my next investment's probably gonna be a Kemper, and I think that's gonna be it.
Oh, Kemper, yeah. I've been eyeing that for a few years. We used Kemper on our maybe that's the next segment.
Let's go. Who's the next one?
Head Fury.
Head Fury. Yes, go check out the new video for Monterey out now. Yeah. Am I pronouncing it right? Monterey.
Yeah, Monterey, that's cool. Right. Yeah. So Head Fury started also early 2020, reconnected with Vince and Wayne, both in Joburg, the guys from Musketeer days back when I was in State for Better. And yeah, I mean, me and Wayne were friends over the years. I didn't really know Vince that well, but I shared one of the songs that I released with them, and they sent me back a song that just needed vocals. And I was like, damn, this is such cool music. I've always wanted to, I mean, in Wonderwolf, my other project, I've tried to do some heavy stuff, but it was kind of lacking some elements for me. And Vince is such an amazing guitarist, and Wayne, the most epic drummer, like real rock, heavy metal musicians that really know their craft well. And they had done some demos up in Joburg. So we started collaborating. I did some vocals on a few tracks, and that kind of morphed into Head Fury. And then they recorded drums at B Sharp Studios, JP Pani, legendary studio in Joburg. And then Vince did his guitars, and we did the drum mixing at the Laundry Room Studios. People need to check that out. It's Johan Haynes from Far From Who We Are. I don't know if you know that band.
Geez, you're educating me here, brother. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
I should have written them down.
Do it right now. Well. Let's go.
Far From Who We Are.
Far From Who We Are.
A very cool single as well. But anyway, Johannes got his own studio, and he's got a Kemper.
Dude.
Which is just amazing. So we've got the most killer guitar tones on the Head Fury recordings. And I'm really proud of how that turned out. It's really first record in a long time that I've recorded in that heavy rock metal genre that sounds the way it should sound.
For sure. The drum sound, if I can remember, was killer as well. Yeah.
No, it's turned out very, very cool. And I did the final mixing on my side, and then we got it mastered at Kelsey Mastering.
Kelsey Mastering.
Yeah, Rogan Kelsey. Very, very cool dude.
Nice.
And so we've just released our first single, Monterey, with the video last week. It's doing quite well. And our debut album, 6 tracks, coming out 6 November on HopePunk Records, Head Fury.
Head Fury! Check it out.
Over the next weeks, I'll be teasing a song a week. Monterey is quite like a melodic rock tune, bit of a like Incubus, Papa Roach vibe there. But some of our other songs go quite heavy, like Seven Dust, Breaking Benjamin, Alter Bridge kind of vibe.
Oh, I was slamming Blackbird last night. I played it start to finish.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. The entire album of Alter Bridge, it's just, I did get elements of that in that song, and it's just so it's so down my alley. I mean, you turning 40, I'm turning 36 this year, so I think it's kind of like all same era kind of situation where I started out listening to like the grunge and obviously geez, where did I start? Offspring, Nirvana, Metallica, and then it obviously went on and on and on, and then eventually got into stuff like Breaking Benjamin, Alter Bridge, Day to Remember. Well, that's more so.
Day to Remember. Yeah.
Day to Remember was the first band to introduce me to breakdowns.
Okay.
And
they do that well.
And when I discovered breakdowns, I was like, please give me more breakdowns because I love them, and please. And then when I said give it to me, someone introduced me to Parkway Drive in 2013, and I just went, all hail.
That's you.
Yeah, that's
I
me.
actually watched one of their live shows today.
Amazing
festival. Yeah, amazing.
I think one of the latest ones they recorded, the big one that they did was live at Wacken or Wacken, or how do you? Let's settle the debate right now, Gideon.
Yeah.
What is it?
I would say Wacken, but German would probably say Wacken.
Well,
Wacken.
It's weird though, because I watched the battle final, and you've got a German MC that's calling it Wacken, and then everybody I know calls it Wacken. So please, somebody let me know what it is, but because I'm a stickler for pronunciation.
I think that's it. I think if you're German, you say it with an American accent, Wacken.
Wacken.
And if you're American, you say it with a German accent.
Yeah, because you think it's German. Wacken. Yeah, I can imagine it's like the adverse. I kind of get it. But that's for sure. I didn't even know where we were going with that. But have you been to Wacken? Have you been to Rock am Ring?
I've been to Rock im Park last year. Okay. That was so cool. I wanted to go this year, but obviously it didn't happen.
Sure.
Rock am Ring, maybe that's the next one. It's quite. The setup there is quite intense because it's on the race.
Yes, on the racetrack.
So it's very like long, and people just like in a little tube.
I mean, I just remember, if you're right at the back, you can't. The artists must seem like bloody ants.
Yeah, and Rock im Park is actually much cooler because it's the same bands but less people, and it's in a park, and it's in Nuremberg, in a very historic stadium where a lot of the old bad things happened, but now they're blessing it with cool music. But you feel more like space there, and you can get closer to the stage. And I watched some from Alice in Chains last year, one of my favorite bands from when I grew up, and Under Oath and Bring Me the Horizon, and bands, but it's very cool.
Bring Me, hey, did you watch them recently?
Yeah, that was last year. I also saw them in Frankfurt a few months before that.
Okay,
but
cool.
Not since. Yeah, very cool live act.
Yeah, I watched them at Ramfest. Yeah, I did. I watched them at Ramfest just after they released Sempiternal. They played at Ramfest, I think it was 2013, 2014. What a live band. They know how to really put on a live stage performance, man. Who are your favorite bands? I hear you mention Under Oath a couple of times.
Yeah, I like them, but probably my favorite band over the years has been Deftones. I'm a big Deftones.
Hey, happy release day!
Yeah, exactly.
It's happy release day all round.
Exactly. I actually did a post for Wham Bam using their Ohms album art cover as a filter, and said we know releasing our single on the same day as their album will probably affect their album sales, so we just want to give them some.
That's good, man.
If that worked, but anyway, I love their sound over the years. It's one of the bands that have stayed original.
Have to be honest, sound. I haven't heard it yet. I haven't even given. I've been working all day, and then we here. So after this is going to be testing out the new Deftones for sure. I saw one of my buddies, Kevin Rule, post today, and he couldn't be happier that they finally released a new album. So have you heard any of it?
Yeah. I listened to a bit today, but I obviously listened to the first two singles, Ohms and I think Genesis. Yeah, very, very cool. Okay. Still bit more of the old sound.
Nice.
Kevin Rule.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so you guys know each other. Sweet. Lithium, Dismantling the Architects, With Dawn, A Tribute for All, Slipknot tribute, you name it. He's a part of it.
He's the man.
Yeah. Cool. He's Cape Town's Fred Durst.
Is that a good thing?
No, it is a good thing, bro. If you know me, Limp Bizkit was my bread and butter for many, many years.
Yeah. Hey, early Limp Bizkit, huh?
Early, well, a lot of people gave Results May Vary a bad rap, but I loved it.
Yeah,
Anything
no, me
after
too. I was a
Results May
big fan.
Vary, I mean, I think what came after that was The Unquestionable Truth, what was a disaster. And then they did Gold Cobra, which I didn't really dig. It took me back to Rolling. And then and then they came out. I don't even know what the recent album is. I stick to my $3 Bill, Significant Other, Chocolate Starfish.
Those are the three.
Yeah.
No, it was great music back then. It's at that pumping energy. And
and you see there's a new
attitude.
Woodstock documentary coming out on Netflix about the whole ordeal. So I'm looking forward to
Woodstock
that.
99. Yeah.
It's gonna be an interesting one. It's also gonna be interesting to see who they tag as villains and the heroes and all that kind of stuff. Because all the hardcore fans know the real, vibes, and so it's gonna be interesting to see what the narrative is.
For sure.
But dude, more about you. Like, so you moved to Frankfurt. How was that? Isn't in terms of an adjustment? You've moved overseas twice. So you've come back, then you've gone, then you've come back, and then you've gone again. Is that career stuff?
Yeah, it's mostly career, but also a bit of family, future prospects things. I mean, South Africa is I wish I could just live and have a great life there. But in my career as well, you find some limitations in where you can go, and I mean, I've got German citizenship, so 2017, me and my wife, we were quite keen for another kind of adventure as well, and also thinking about maybe what would make sense for longer term.
Kids and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly, and quality of life and things and opportunity. And so that's Germany as a first kind of step, but it's tough, man. It's a different language here, which is very hard. And it's far from home, but
and your folks are still here, and your wife's folks are still here, because I can imagine that can be a bugger up, especially when you start having kids and you're like, where's grandpa they're in South Africa.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. They're all far away, so we're here on our own. We've got some family here, but not super close. But the longer you do it, the easier it gets.
100%. And we've got these. I mean, you and I having a full-on conversation over this platform. It's easy to connect with your family, albeit not flesh and bone, but it makes a huge difference to be able to do it.
But my dad doesn't have such a cool background when we chat. I need to sort that out.
I think, dude, this is going to be the first of many. And I have to, for the next time you come on, we're going to have to perfect that intro, because I don't intend it to be PC failure and all that kind of jazz. But we've made it, bro. We've made it. I'm super chuffed. Let's actually just get another Prost there, man. Cheers.
Prost, man. I just need to mention one more band.
No, for sure. I mean, I'm not letting you go by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay, cool. Actually, there's two more to go.
Let's go.
So next one, Lava Suit. Okay.
Lava Suit.
Yeah, and Lava Suit. Okay. So that's also HopePunk, and that's actually just me, right?
Okay.
With Ramon, the lyricist in Thailand. Okay. And that's more like ethereal, ambient, folky singer-songwriter vibes.
Okay.
I've released 2 singles so far. It's first one was a cover of Nothing Man, Pearl Jam song.
Nothing man, isn't it something? Nothing.
What a classic song, man.
She wants believe.
Exactly. Tough song to cover.
I used to sing that with my sisters, 3-part harmony.
No way.
Like, we used to sit. Listen, I've never told anyone this. I used to sit with my sisters. My sisters are twins.
Okay, cool.
We always used Pearl Jam were my sister. They're 6 years older than me, so they're 40 now, 41. And so when we had people coming around, I caught on to Pearl Jam because they loved it, and then we used to do 3-part harmonies for anybody who used to ask for it.
That's 3-part harmony. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you guys are a bit of a traveling family band.
Well, no, not really, but I mean, I was forced to sing in the chamber choir and all that kind of shit back in the day, and then I discovered that I can play guitar better.
Cool. But do you still sing in Atlantic South and Ill System?
I did some backing. I do some backing live for Ill System. My problem is, bro, I don't, that whole thing. Like singing and playing at the same time is not my strongest forte. Like, I mean, I can play a 4-chord track and sing over it, but some of the riffs that we play, I just wouldn't be able to pull that off.
Yeah, especially if you riff it up, eh?
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather give the riff the best attention. Yeah. We've got great vocalists in the bands and whatnot, so we can leave them to do their thing. But while you say that, myself and the old guitarist of Atlantic South, we reunited, and we're writing some new stuff, and I'm going to be doing vocals for that.
Cool.
Yeah, so some exciting stuff, just testing myself, I can't stand listening to myself back though.
Yeah, I mean, that's something. For me, it's okay listening to myself sing, although maybe once I've edited it a bit, I don't know. But hearing myself recorded speaking is always a bit awkward. So
yeah, for sure. Look, I mean, everybody has the idiosyncrasies, so it's something that I just need to like push through and get over, because I've got people like him and my other mates going, "Hey, dude, you can do it. So just do it, and don't be so self-conscious."
So you're also trying a bit of the model where you play in more than one act, because there's different things that you feel you need to.
100%, yeah. Like sure, like the Ill System vibe is so much fun for me because Sean will come up with an idea. He's so good at like sampling and mixing. He's like an Ableton dude. Like, so he creates these loops and stuff, and then he's already like got a verse and like a chorus, and then he'll come to me, and then I'll write the riff to fit the whole thing. Okay. So it's just a different dynamic as opposed to me writing the riff and then creating a structure and then getting a vocalist to come and see how the song makes him feel. Like I've always had a kind of open brief kind of situation where I'm like, this is how the song feels, like this is how it makes me feel. I feel kind of angsty, or I feel kind of emotional. I feel like this should be, melodic or whatever. And then, they'll have their creative license, but it's a little bit different in the Ill System vibe. But the Atlantic South's not active anymore, so it's kind of just Ill System and then the new project.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
But enough about me, more about you. HopePunk Records, what can we expect going forward, post 2020, post pandemic? Are we going to see your acts all travel down together to South Africa so we can see the whole roster play?
Exactly. It's going to be a big HopePunk festival.
100%. And I hope you can extend the invite to some.
For sure. You guys must come over here.
Dude, I want to.
No, that's exactly. There's a lot of plans and ideas, but it's kind of taking it step by step, growing it. So there's a solid base to work from. For me, it's currently it's quite a busy time. So I've got 5 active acts on the label, releasing songs at the moment. Which is very exciting, but it's about what comes next is obviously growing those acts, but then also seeing how we could grow beyond those acts into other artists. Sure. And then also over here in Germany and in Europe. That's my focus, but very keen to keep the South African connection, because one thing I always found there's so many amazing bands in South Africa that kind of did very well, but then maybe got to a point where they couldn't do it any longer, and then they stopped. And I always thought that was so sad, because there's such amazing music there. Like, I don't want to name names, but bands that I loved, like Taxi Violence, and I don't know if you know Marlowe, and
I know Marlowe, I know Taxi Violence, all of those dudes.
And this Nemesis and Soul Proxy back in the day, and there's so many bands.
Sharma.
That
was another one. One that I remember. Lithium as well.
I mean,
but they're going to be around.
Lithium thing. Yeah, they're back. They're playing, which is great to see. Mm-hmm. But so all positive on those bands that they're still doing it and they did well. But it just shows there's such amazing music in South Africa, and if there's some way I could, I don't know, make a connection here and even help South African bands break it in the German market and also grow on this side. That's kind of my focus.
Well, tell me. Sorry, just carry on. Sorry, I'll ask you the question after. Go for it.
Yeah, sure. Maybe just one point is like HopePunk Records is the label, but then there's actually two other parts. It's HopePunk Studios and also HopePunk Productions. So
Okay.
I've got my own studio, and I also collaborate with a lot of with other artists writing songs, producing. I recently did a song for Prime Circle. They reached out to me.
Oh wow!
But I mean, they do work with a few producers overseas, so let's see what happens there. But things like that are. Personally, I quite enjoy doing because you.
I mean, props. I mean, you being recognized from dudes. I mean, do you know Ross or any of the dudes in the band?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I know them a bit from State for Better days. We used to do a lot of shows with them, but I know Dale, the drummer, quite well. He was the drummer for Soul Proxy back in the day. They were on the same label as us, and he actually reached out to me. He's just set up his own really cool studio in Joburg, 37B Studios, and he does a lot of Prime Circle stuff, but also a lot of Afrikaans acts.
It's huge. It's huge. Good market to be in.
Markets. And we're looking at how we can collaborate, writing songs and producing for other acts. So for me personally, as a musician, I quite enjoy the whole songwriting, producing, recording part of it. So that's also something I'm trying to.
So you like sitting and part of busting your ears for hours and hours on end, getting everything 100%, or I mean, with your monitors at least. It's crazy. I mean, that's something that takes such utmost patience and passion, because you need to have passion as well as patience in order to do something like it. For me, a lot of people say, "Oh no, let's find someone to master it. Let's find someone to mix the album, blah, blah, blah." You got to understand, these are special human beings that spend hours and hours and hours and hours. It's like, what is another job that is mentally taxing, for instance? Like, I can't even think of one. So it does take a special type of patience and attention to detail to be doing something like that. So I commend you for having all these different avenues under the HopePunk Records banner.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's focusing on what you enjoy doing and what you feel that you're good at and can do well, but then also collaborating with others where you know that they're better at it. So I master my own songs, and it always sounds very cool, I think. But then I always send it to Tim Lingfeld in Stellenbosch or Rogan, or even guys in the States that I use that I know can do that are actually mastering engineers, and I trust them to do that. And also with the projects, the power in collaborating, like Pirates of Radio, we're all in different countries, we all do different things. So I'm not gonna, even though from a lot of the projects I do the drums and the bass and I play piano and I do the guitars, I do everything myself. You do feel a bit that that's a box that you're in, and there's limits there. So breaking that box and collaborating with other people, just the world is then wide open. You can do so many different things. So it's like knowing your strengths and then collaborating with others where you're not good at it. So.
No, for sure. So let's set the record straight. I mean, you've got a whole bunch of people get in contact with you. You've come across some weirdos in your inbox and your DMs and all that kind of shit. How, do you vet bands? How do you get people a part of your label? Is that not a thing that must people not contact you? Must they contact you? Do you go out and search for bands actively? What's the situation there?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a chicken and egg thing at the moment. I'm really keen to grow the label and whatever I do, whether it be as a songwriter or producer or collaborator or a label, to other artists for sure. But it's really about finding the right fit. So it needs to be people that are really talented and good, but also very, very committed to what they do, and they present it in a very professional and appealing way. I mean, some bands they do the whole EPK and the submission very, very well, and others are just, hey, we need a label.
We're a headliner. We need a we need a label.
Yeah, no, like, okay, who are you? You can't just it needs to be so it's about finding the right acts that where it makes sense as well, because I know acts a lot of things you can do yourself, so it's about making sure that it makes sense for both sides. And I think for me, that'll also become more clear and easier maybe in the coming months. So, as I'm still just kind of creating a solid network in Europe as well as in South Africa, and making the whole thing like a solid label.
For sure.
But yeah, bands must definitely contact if they think there's things that they would want to try out and things that they need, and we can definitely chat for sure.
Sweet. Well, I'm going to put you on the spot quickly. Favorite current SA group, outfit, can be new, old, not to put too much pressure on you. Ill System.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh man, thank you so much. I'm the Latlamaki for Ill System. I've been there in the band, I think only 4 years now. The band's been going since '99, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, so Sean's been writing those diatribes since '99. It's actually part of the lyrics.
It comes across maybe in that ego check. That sounds like a very polished, tight band.
Thanks, man. So, I appreciate it, dude. Shout out Clinton Watts of Watts Production Studios. I mean, he does the he does the mixing and mastering. We just send him stems, and a couple of revisions later, and that's how it sounds. And we love working with him. And we pretty much record everything in this room basically, and then Well, it's not just a podcast studio, baby. But we enjoying the jam. Like obviously, I don't know when you became familiar with the podcast or whatever. I used to have lots of different shit, old decrepit couches with covers on them. So I've just currently, just recently. Invested in some new couches and all that kind of stuff. So there's been some improvement. But thank you so much.
Is that a real fireplace there, or was it?
It is a real fireplace, but it is a red light inside the fireplace. Cool. I'm very warm at the moment.
But just on SA bands, I mean, there's so many cool bands. But I mean, Facing the Gallows is another band that I think is doing really, really well overseas.
Close to my heart, those boys. They've slept on the old couches that were in here. I've housed them a couple of times. They played the Atlantic South. See, there's a poster like there.
Yeah.
They played the Atlantic South first EP launch ever. We got them down from Joburg. They stayed here. So the dudes are super cool. They're working so hard, and shout out to them with their new record deal. Also a German label, Out of Line Records. And, they're just pumping out music. Just their latest video, The Blackening's come out. I have contacted them to get them on the show again, because I think they've been on once or twice before. Dude, they're one of my favorites. And, so carry on. Let's hear it.
They're a hard-working band, eh? They really, I think that's what impresses me.
They are grafting.
You can sense by what they do online is really committed to their craft, which is cool.
No, for sure. And I see some new Red Helens on the way. I saw Brandon posted a picture of his SM7B mic all ready to rock and roll, or finished, or he had already been finished recording his vocals and stuff. So I'm looking forward to some new Red Helen. Dream Demon dropped today. If you do yourself a favor, my friend, go and check.
Yeah, that was your previous show, huh?
I spoke to Joel from Dream Demon on Monday. They released their single Fool Me today, so go check it out. They're really some there's some special musicians. The bass player, the person who mixes and masters that album. I mean, their music is my old vocalist of Atlantic South.
Oh, cool.
Luke Edwards, and he currently plays a bass with them.
Cool. Yeah, I think I was introduced to them. I watched a bit of your previous clip just to see what's up. And you showed a clip of him singing with a DJ.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Grimehouse. That was Prison. The new song Prison with Grimehouse. Yeah.
That was very epic.
Yeah, they're doing it, baby. It's, South African music is, and especially the South African more alternative, underground, heavier side of things, we're on the up, baby. And it doesn't matter that all the venues are closing down, or nobody can play live. Everybody's taking this time to really put effort into their craft, and it's really seems to be producing some really good shit. So I'm excited.
That's cool. I also saw Rough Magic's new.
Yes. What's it called again? I'm chatting with Rough Magic the week after next, I think. Yeah.
I love their sound. It's reminds me a bit of a Taxi Violence vibe, but it's very, very cool.
Super rock and rolly, super high energy. What was it?
Stuff.
Something? Man, I can't
Lead
remember.
Pulls, and I just need to get the name here, but they just released a video, I think. So I've got it. Lead Pulls and Thrills. Yeah.
There we go. Lead Pulls and Thrills, baby.
Yeah. So lots of good stuff in the SA scene for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited. And any local German bands that maybe that we haven't picked up on that you can point us in the right direction? Always an old German band that I always laugh and have a good time with listening to. I mean, this is more along the metalcore side. Is we butter our bread with butter, and then another one is Feed Them to the Sharks, I think, is another one. There's another German band.
Yeah, there are. There's a lot of funny bands here as well, like a bit of the equivalent to the Afrikaans scene in South Africa.
Oh, really? Like German music?
Yeah, German music, and then
German lyrics and stuff.
Yeah, last year at the Rock in Park, there was the Boss Hoss or something. I think Prime Circle played with them before as well, but they had they were on the main stage, biggest slot in that, like 100,000 people singing to every word, like the strangest music, or like almost like a German country.
It's almost like a folklore kind of. Every country's got their own weird kind of music, And
what's also cool here is the hip hop scene. The German hip hop scene is very, very pumping.
I can imagine.
And they're such cool hip hop artists here. And that's one thing I'm looking at doing, is to collaborate with a German.
Dude, that would be so cool.
Artist to throw like a verse in a heavy song. I mean,
I can only imagine how hardcore, heavy German rap would sound.
Yeah, it's got a
grit. I can imagine, because it's got like a throaty kind of pronunciation of words and stuff like that. So I can imagine it to be really gritty. Exactly. Dude, like I'm excited. If you got any, just inbox me. You got my email address and stuff like that. I really dig to check some out. I mean, obviously I wouldn't know where to flip and start. I mean, I guess I can go to YouTube and go German rap, but I'd like to obviously have an educated, kind of education in terms of listening to this stuff. But dude,
I'll continue some stuff.
Yeah, dude, please listen. I think you and I need to keep in contact. You can kind of like let me in what's happening HopePunk Records, what's happening in Frankfurt, Germany. I'm excited, man, and I'm super, super pleased to meet you. And I think we need to keep in touch, man.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. We have to. And thanks for the chat. It's very, very cool to actually, it's the first time that I'm actually speaking about what we've done over the past couple of months, which is, I think, it's been a lot of frantic times, releasing, I think, about 15 songs with 5 different acts, trying to build the channels and the brands for each one of them. So it's been a bit frantic. So for me, it was a good kind of also reflection.
And also just relax and just talk about your accomplishments, and talk about what you have achieved so far and what you're about to achieve going forward. I mean, it must be so exciting. Like you said, it's 2020. I think I saw a post. You said it's only just the beginning. We're only just beginning. And I'm really excited for your journey as a label, your umbrella, with your 5 projects that you've got under the banner, and for more projects that are going to be added to the label. Also, tell me, how did you get in contact with Warren, and the connection between you guys and Plug Music PR and Plug Music Agency? My bad. I go like Plug PR Plug,
Warren's the man, eh?
He's so cool, dude.
Yeah,
patient.
I mean, I've kind of monitored Plug for the last few years, seen all the good stuff that they've done. So he was a well-known entity in the scene for me. And on one side, I was kind of focused on getting PR cover overseas. So I worked with a UK PR agency for a month or so. But then realized that a lot of the acts that I'm involved in that we still have is essay, partly essay based. And thinking with all these releases coming up, what would be a good way to present it in essay, but that also has the international connection. And Plug just kind of stood out to me. And I also then realized that Warren was in Seed, my favorite band back in the day. It was Lithium and Seed were my two kind of, I mean, I love my heavy music, and they were kind of my band in Sunfish. We were trying to kind of do kind of same vibes.
Nice.
So I just thought this is also cool because it's someone that you know is not just an unknown entity that's potentially a shark, because there's a lot of sharks out there.
Yeah. You got to be careful.
Give me money and I will make you famous and will help you. And then
it's a big sea out there.
Exactly. And I know he's a legit dude that cares about the musicians that he works with, being a muser himself. So I reached out to him and we had gave him a proposition, and we're partnering for a couple of months to see how it goes. He's doing the PR for the label, just helping, because that's a gap. Especially for me, I'm doing a lot of it on my own with a bit of support, but the PR, it takes a lot of effort, and also you need to have a lot of the right connections for people to make a real impact, to find the right channels. And for sure, Warren's great with that. So.
Oh, it's quite funny. We got Art, the new drummer of Lithium, in the chat going, Lithium and Seed, nice. And he's going, sorry, I'm so late, long day.
Awesome.
Sweet, dude. Shout out for tuning in, dude. Dude, like it's super exciting. I mean, you mentioning names that I haven't heard in a long time. You're mentioning names that I should go back and research and become familiar with, because it's a part of history. Maybe what I can do, maybe this is how we can do it. I'm just spitballing here, dude. Mm-hmm. All those bands, Lithium, Seed, any of the other dudes that you're involved with, let's get them on and tell them, let's talk about the history of those bands back in the day. Let's go back.
Yes.
What do you think?
I had the same idea. You should do a show about the old SA scene in 92 to 2000, whatever.
You gonna help me out?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's do it.
One idea, maybe I'll just throw it out there that I have for HopePunk as well. But I know we have to see how this can work.
For sure.
To put out a compilation. I mean, it's probably similar to what Fangs is doing, but with some of the old bands from the SA.
Like old bands, yeah,
songs that maybe were never released. So I don't know, a lot of those bands. I know Warren's doing great stuff, putting the old Seed stuff out there, Diesel Wars, etc. But to put out a compilation,
isn't that iconic photo of him, like he's stage diving, he's got the mic in his hand?
Who?
Warren.
Was Warren? Mic in his...
No. Warren was a bass player, wasn't he?
Yeah.
No, I mean the vocalist of Seed.
Yeah, Gary.
Yeah. It's like I think I've just recently seen it on the social media. I think it was a clipping, a newspaper clipping or something. But anyway, I digress.
9 and I see he's been revising the Seed page.
Yeah. Amazing.
Going up there.
For sure. And anyway, we need to actually get Warren himself on the show as well.
Yeah, totally. You'd be the greatest guest, and there's so much history that you could share for sure.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
But just to get those bands together, I thought from releasing their songs again is one angle, but just at least getting them in a room to chat about it. It was
wow, dude, getting them into a room to chat about it would be amazing. It would be phenomenal. Yeah, that's crazy.
Good idea, man.
That's crazy. Well, listen, let's wrap up on this. Anything you want to say to the HopePunk fans, to the Head Fury fans, to the Wham Bam fans, to Pirates?
Pirates of Radio.
Pirates of Radio.
Yeah,
and then,
I mean,
Lava.
Lava suit.
Lava suit. There we go. I'll try
show
to
all cards
remember all of them,
again.
dude. Yeah, let's go. Let's go one by one. Everybody, right now, check out the first up on the list.
Firstly, thanks to all the musos that have collaborated with me in HopePunk over the last few years, and especially the last 6 months or 8 months. And thanks to everyone that have supported the stuff we've released. And just keep on giving us an outlet to release it and get some kind of response back. So we really appreciate it. So Pirates of Radio, check it out.
Pirates of Radio.
New video dropping next Friday.
Next Friday.
Yeah. Actually,
let's go. I'm excited.
Just go to HopePunk Records, right?
Yes, there we go, and you'll see it all.
You can see it. Everything is there.
Okay, that's amazing.
HopePunkRecords.com.
Oh wait,
you got
Lava Suit. That's the more folky kind of songwriter stuff with lyricists.
Yeah, exactly. Head Fury.
Check
it out. It's already got about 25,000 views on YouTube. So
I did see. This morning it was at about 25. Yeah, you're right.
And the album's coming out in November. Really cool if you like your heavy stuff.
Yes.
Wham Bam.
Wham Bam official.
Single released today. Fool's Gold. Video coming out tomorrow. Very great rock and roll.
Hell yeah. Happy release day to you, my man.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, let's wrap it on that, dude. I think we have got through the history of Gideon Kretschmer, or Gideon Kretschmer. Dis reg, ja. Dis reg. Sorry, that first sounded like a little bit English, but it's getting there. But thank you so much for joining the show. I've had a great time. It's been a great Friday date. We've had some couple of drinks together. We've shot the shit regarding HopePunk Records and all the projects that you guys are involved in, and what you guys are doing for the future. It's really exciting to be a part of it, and to have you on here talking about it. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. After all these bands have released their newest stuff, and I think we can come back and have a bit of a recap and see what's up. And hopefully we won't have an absolute disastrous PC failure like we did earlier. But thank you so much for being patient enough to stay with me past when we were supposed to talk. So I humbly apologize for all the rescheduling and also for the technical difficulties. But thank you so much for being such a sport and such a great dude. I look forward to chatting to you again soon, dude.
Cool, man. No, thanks for having me. It was a great way to spend a Friday night. And I'm a big fan of your show and the bands you play. And so for me, it was a privilege to be in your show as well. So hope we chat again soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Everybody, let's hear it. Let's not, because we can't hear it, but go check out HopePunk Records on Instagram, Facebook, Head Fury, and all the other bands that are under the HopePunk Records banner. It's super cool. Thank you, Gideon. You're a legend, and we'll see you soon, dude.
Cheers, man. Prost.
Prost. Wait, one more. Cheers, my bro. Good to see you.
Cheers, man. Have a great weekend.
Cool. Thanks a lot. Gideon
bye-bye.
From HopePunk Records. What a legend. Such a nice dude. I look forward to catching up with him again soon. Thank you to the dudes in the chat. It's 10 past 9. I'm going to call it a day. The new studio, or new lights and new studio and all that kind of stuff, baby. We're having a good time. It's good to be back. Thanks for being patient with all the shit. Art, I hear you. I'm going to do a roundtable discussion with the old guys. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thank you to everybody who's watching, who's listening on audio, on Spotify and all that kind of stuff. You guys are the best. Whoever was hitting me with political comments in the chat, get fucked. Not interested. Love you guys, but thank you so much for joining the show. This is Papa G's House, episode 63 with HopePunk Records. Gideon Kretschmer, you guys are legends. We're out.
I don't wanna go anywhere else. I wanna go to Papa G's. Yeah, that's where we're going.